What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and we are here to continue on with our series called Starting from Zero, where we are trying to establish a very standardized way to approach the fundamentals of arm wrestling for beginners in the sport, starting with the setup, starting with how you approach the table, how you set your feet. So the video we did last week, we'll throw a card up in the window, basically covered that, like from the feet up to your elbow, like how you want to set yourself up on the table. So just to summarize it real quick, the hand that you're going to arm wrestle with is the foot you're going to put forward. You're going to wrap it around the table, get your hip in tight contact with the table, get your opposite foot pointing the direction you're going to go, then your elbow as tight inside your body as possible, and wind yourself out so you're in a legal starting position. And that's basically where the video ended, so we're going to pick up from there.
Yeah, so in this video we'll talk about all the connections that you want to be feeling in your arm, hand, shoulder, how to load, what you're going to hit for, how to get to the finish, and all the positions that you're going to find yourself in along the way.
Yeah, and obviously this move, if you haven't seen the hill of arm wrestling techniques, you can check that out. We'll throw a video or like a card up eventually in the video when we talk about that more, but you're going to initiate from the very top of the hill always, but unless you're dominating your opponent, you're probably not going to get all of that. So we're going to discuss that stuff in the next video, and this video, like Alex said, is going to be that initiation, and then if you've got everything, how you would end up finishing that match ideally. But there's a lot more to it. Once you get into a real match, it's not going to work out that easy in the real world. So as we continue with this series, we'll get more into the details of the different avenues or moves in arm wrestling.
All right, guys, so I'm just going to reiterate the setup once again, just to ingrain it in our heads. So the arm that I'm arm wrestling with is the foot that's forward and wrapped around the table leg. Other foot pointed in the direction I want to go, elbow inside my body, rotate out towards the center, elbow in on the center of the pad, hand up nice and high, other hand on the peg, and the shoulders are square. So what now? How do you load? Right, so we're going to start with the hands. So in an arm wrestling match, right, the four main fundamentals in the hand are going to be rise, cup, pronation, and supination. There are some of those things that we can have fully engaged off the go. So that's our rise and that's our pronation. So my rise and pronation fully locked in. Right, can't have my supination locked in, I can't be fully cupped. So I'm going to keep my rise and pronation completely locked off the go. And for cup, I'm going to have finger flexion pressure. So this clamping pressure, I'm not squeezing, I'm just applying flat finger pressure to my opponent's hand. And then the supination stability is just going to come from having my elbow inside my body and my shoulder protecting it. So I'm getting my shoulder kind of raised up, I'm levering off the elbow to get my shoulder behind and protect my elbow. And this is going to create some kind of lock right here, where if I get pushed this way, I feel a lock. If I was loose here, there would be a lot more movement here. If I get hit into that position, there's a bigger chance that it's going to get taken even further. But if I'm in that lock to begin with, then I feel really secure here, and there's not a lot of movement going to happen. Right? So the finger pressure is going to lead me down this chain where I'm pulling the match into me. The lat is engaged, the rack is engaged, and I'm just making sure that the match isn't going to get away from me off the go. So just to reiterate, rise and pronation, fully engaged, finger flexion, pulling the match into me, shoulder is behind my elbow or behind my hand, and I'm levering off the elbow. Right, so those things are fully engaged. Okay, so we're now all fully loaded, everything's ready to go. Now I want to imagine that there's a string connected from my top knuckle here towards my face, and from my elbow into my belly button. And then I'm going to initiate with the hand first, looking to gain position. So pronation, rise, fully engaged, like we said before. Now I want to gain some cup and get the match more inside my body. So while maintaining as much rise and pronation as possible, I'm going to, at a 45-degree angle, try to gain some cup and get that match closer to inside my body. If I can get this position, then think about this hip, which is still connected to the table. I'm levering off the hip all the way down to the pin pad at this 45-degree angle, looking for that corner, right? While maintaining that string from my knuckle to my elbow. So just the same thing again. Everything's super connected. If you get your match looking like that, beautiful, you can move on. But you may not get everything to happen like that in a real match. You're probably going to lose some of those fundamentals. So you might lose some wrist flexion. You might lose, well, you probably wouldn't pin it, but you might lose some wrist flexion, you might lose some pronation, you might lose some rise, you may get the match taken outside your body. So those are the things we're going to cover in the next video, how to lead yourself down the hill to keep yourself in the match. But we'll cover that in our next video.
All right, guys, so that pretty much covers the steps that we wanted to go over for this video. Just to run through it one more time, I think the more we run through it, the better it's gonna get ingrained in everybody's head. The hand I'm arm wrestling with is the foot that's going forward, hip in contact with the table, opposite foot pointing the direction I wanna go, elbow inside my body, rotate myself around. Once we're there, we want to have some sort of flat finger pressure, keeping the containment established. We want our pronation and our rise fully engaged. And from that point there, we want to imagine that there's a string from my knuckle to my forehead, from my elbow to my belly button. I want to try to initiate for some cup and some internal rotation while maintaining my rise and pronation. If I can get to this position here, again, string, keep those as tight as possible while levering off my hip, which is pushing into the table to bring myself on a 45-degree angle towards the corner of the table. And if you do lose something along the way, that's going to lead you to, as Alex said, different parts of the hill, which is what we're going to cover in the next video.
Yep, so if you like this video, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, all those things.
And peace out.